All right, so I don't know why I wanted to do this, other than the fact that I wanted to just kind of get some information out of my head and kind of into like an audio format, I guess, in a sense. And I'd like to eventually go ahead and show you guys some of this stuff on like a PowerPoint kind of presentation, because I think it might help. But what I wanted to kind of get out of my head is some things that I remember when we were in school and how we actually did dentures. I know this sounds weird, but the thing that I wanted to hit on first was how we repair dentures. And I had to go back and refresh my memory on a lot of things, since I've been doing some things here and there at the school. But what I remember the most, like when we're doing traditional dentures, is that sometimes things break. We have to kind of move with things and kind of get our heads about us when we're doing like a repair. So like when I remember when we did repairs, we would go and they'd have something and they break a couple inches, whatever. You had to do whatever you had to do. Now what we did was we used sticky wax to hold it together, and then like kind of put the pieces back together with sticky wax. I saw something where somebody used what did they use? They used like a cranial acrylic, like a super glue type of material, and they just kind of put a little spot on there where the denture was cracked, and then just kind of let it go back together, which I don't think that's a bad idea either. I think if it sticks. So that's one way of getting it to adhere, the pieces to adhere together. The second part was actually like mixing up your stones. So you take like some plaster and then you mix it up with your water, and everything, so that you can make an impression and of what you just stuck together, so that when you break it back apart, you have like a model for it. So, and then I'll kind of explain this how I do this when I'm with when I do what do you call them, digital dentures, because it really is technically the same steps, it's just a little bit different. So well, actually, it's not even that much different. You can do it the same way. So once you put the pieces back together with the sticky wax or with a cranial acrylic type of material, then you're going to fill up that denture, the tissue side of that denture, with the plaster, so that you can make this impression, this stone cast of it. Once you do it, you want to trim it all the way around, make sure your borders and everything are okay, and make sure it's not, it's cleaned up. Once it sets, you should be able to release it with like a buffalo knife, and then also take off the sticky wax beforehand. If you put like, sometimes you can put like a tongue depressor across the side of it just to keep it stable, so that when you're working, it's it's still stable, so it's not only just held together by the sticky wax in the groove of wherever it broke, but it's also like the occlusal surface. Maybe you put like a tongue depressor on top of it. Or I remember what we did in school, we took an actual metal instrument and we would put it on top and then sticky wax that. So it just depends on which way you're going to do it. So then the second thing after that is you take it apart, take it off of the model, and then you have to outcoat the model. And outcoat is just like material used so that the material, the plastics doesn't bind to the actual stone model. Once you do that, then you clean off the sticky wax off your denture. Then you can bevel the edges, so that the edges of the denture actually come together, but it gives it just enough of a space so that you can flow in the material that you would normally use to do the repair. And the material that you're going to use is going to be your polymer and monomer, which is the same material that you use in anyway when you're actually press packing it. You're just going to mix it a little bit thinner. So once you do that, then you can let me think. You put the two pieces onto the out-coated model again, and then you're going to flow that material into the groove of what you're doing. So if you've got your groove of the denture that you beveled, now you're going to flow that material into it, and you'll do it from whatever size is cracked, like it's sitting on the model. But if you got like the lingual is exposed and the facial is exposed, say it cracked down the midline of like a lower denture, then you're going to have those two areas filled in with the polymer monomer mixture. And then once you do that, then you can take the model itself, because now it's a model, it's all stuck together. And I think that the material gets like a little doughy stage, as if I'm not mistaken, before that happens. So when it has that doughy stage, then I can't remember if we put Vaseline on that. I don't think we did. I think we just went ahead and then put it in like a pressure pot. And I'm so bad with pressure pots, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm really bad with pressure pots, because I remember they used to scare us in school. And I remember Robin, she was funny, she was like, man, I've seen it where the top blow off with them pressure pots. And I even have a pressure pot at home and in the office that I have, but I really don't do that much to be like, okay, I'm gonna use this pressure pot for everything, because I don't do, I was always into Crown and Bridge and stuff before, but I'm just kind of going over this because it's good to refresh your memory and to understand what it was that you did. I like the fact that, you can do all this stuff and you can remember, how you did things. And then, like I said, you do refresher courses so that you can remember how to do these things. But anyway, so once it's in the pressure pot with warm water, you would, instead of doing the pressure pot with heat, you do it with compressed air. So you could do it with heat. You just got to be careful on how you warm it up. So it's a little bit better if you just like put in some lukewarm water, and then put the pressure pot, and make sure it's covered all the way, put it under. It's kind of like when you're doing ortho appliances, but you put it, ortho appliance, you're going to put it on top of like a cup, and then the water's below it. But in this instance, you're going to put it below the water. So it's in the water. You put the pressure pot on, and I'm going to have to look up and tell you guys how much pressure it is, because I don't remember how much pressure you use in order to do it. But I know it's lukewarm water, and then you put the pressure pot, turn the pressure pot on, and kick the air on. So, or the air, so it sucks it out, your compressor or whatever. And then it sucks out all the air bubbles and things. So that's what you're really looking for, is you're trying to get rid of all the air bubbles that are in there so that it doesn't adhere. So that's the main thing. This way, I'm actually kind of driving and talking at the same time, just because I think that I thought I needed to get this out. And I don't know where I'm at. Anyway, let's see. Okay, so once it's out of the pressure pot and you let it set for, I think it's like 10 minutes or something, 10, 15 minutes, something like that. Once you take it out of the pressure pot, then that bad boy's cured. And it shouldn't have any air bubbles and all that stuff in it. I don't remember what they said. If you have air bubbles, I'm assuming you just kind of redo the repair if you had air bubbles, because that would make it, that's like porosity. It makes it weaker. So once you take it out of the pressure pot, then you can trim it up, get your burrs and all that. You can do it on a lathe. I think that's the reason. That's the way we've always been taught, is just do it on a lathe. You can take a hand piece and do it too. But I always say that sometimes it don't come out as nice when you do it on with a handpiece. But sometimes it just depends on who's doing it, I think, and what your skill level is with the handpiece. Because I can do a lot with handpieces, but I prefer to use like a lathe in that instance. So then I would like grind it down where it's smooth and make sure that you're filling the borders with your fingers, and then kind of rotating it along the denture to make sure that everything is good and everything looks good and feels good. So because it's gonna go in the patient's mouth. What else? Oh, after that I would pumice it and then throw some what's it called, Fabulister, or the polishing compound. Put some polishing compound on a wheel, like a rag wheel, and then polish that bad boy. Same thing with the pumice. You can use, I know some people like rag wheels, some people like rag wheels, some people like the brushes. They're like they're black bristle brushes kind of thing. But I mean, I guess it's just depending on what you like. If it's in the palate area, I do tend to, just like when you actually are finishing the denture, I like to use like it looks like a cone almost, but it's not it's kind of like a blunted cone. It's like rounded at the edge, and then you get into those areas a little bit better, so it's nice and smooth to the tongue and all that. So that's how I would do a repair of a denture. Like I said, I had to get back with you on like the pressure, because the pressure chamber. Like I said, it always kind of worried me. I prefer to do stuff when you stick it in in like a, I don't know, like a water bath or something, and then that's it. And you crank down you crank it down so that you can have the pressure within it, which is what we learn when we press packing and stuff. So like in press packing, you pressurize that thing, and then keep going. But anyway, I'm gonna do a different audio and video on those, because I think that'd be helpful. But that's pretty much all there is to it when we're doing dentures for a repair. So hopefully that helps. Like I said, this was just for me to get it out of my head and into something audio, so that I can go back to it and I can review it, but also so that anybody that's listening to my stuff can actually kind of get a feel for what I do and what I've done and what I remember from doing certain things. So hopefully that helps. Well, that's all I got.